Hello and welcome to Back to the Feature, the show where we talk about movies past, present, and future. Today we're taking a look in the present at Gore Verbinski's new film, A Cure for Wellness.
Only when we know what ails us can we hope to find the cure.
A Cure for Wellness stars Dane DeHaan as a young man who is sent to retrieve a coworker from a remote spa. Now, as much as that sounds pretty boring, this is a pretty twisted movie and a very interesting thriller, mystery, slash horror. Kind of has it all going on in this one. So, John, A Cure for Wellness, obviously from the trailers we could tell it was going to be quite a head trip.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts then on seeing A Cure for Wellness?
Well, I went in with really low expectations. Some of the early reviews come out. And,
yeah, I've not been very positive.
And I'm traveling around YouTube a little bit with some of the guys that I follow, and I was getting kind of a grasp of what, going into it, what I was going to expect. But no, I think I really enjoyed this movie. It's pretty well made. It's definitely ambitious, and I think Gore Verbinski really did pull it off.
Yeah, I really don't think that you can say too much about like the crafting of this film. I think that it's really excellently shot and lit.
Yep.
There's a lot of good performances in it as well, and I don't think that really there's any weak spots as far as like the craft of this film and the way that it's put together is really excellent.
Yeah,
it's filled with gorgeous shots. I found so
Yeah.
many times I was watching this, and they filmed this in Germany. It's supposed to be Switzerland, but the mountains that they film in Germany are
gorgeous.
amazing. Yeah, it's really gorgeous, and I love the use of natural light, but it's also very crisp at the same time. But the color palette was really nice and very, very nice to watch. So I enjoyed that from that standpoint for sure.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Dane DeHaan's performance in this film. I've liked him pretty much. I didn't like him in Amazing Spider-Man, but that was about it.
There's a lot of things not to like.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Spider-Man
things.
too, guys.
But like him in Chronicle, he's excellent, and that's a promising start to this guy's career.
Yeah.
And him coming in this movie, it's not like way out there, great performance, but it's good. It's really solid. He's definitely, I believed him. I believe what he's going through. He delivers a really good performance, and it all centers around him going through this mystery. And if he didn't work out, this movie doesn't work, and he works.
He really does have to carry a lot
Yeah.
of this movie. It doesn't have a huge cast. I mean, there's the people at the asylum. Jason Isaacs plays a scientist, or I guess the not warden. What would you call him? But
He's like the head doctor at the hospital.
the head doctor at the hospital. But beyond that, like I said, it's not a very extensive cast, and really Dane DeHaan really has to do a lot of the heavy lifting. I think he pulls it off. I think that a lot of the times I'll have a problem with some movies where they'll cast a guy, and it's funny because they're around my age, but they'll cast a guy around like our age or something and say like, oh, well, he's working his way up in this huge company, and I think sometimes it's like really unbelievable. Like sometimes you'll watch a movie and they'll have a young person in a career where you're like, I don't think they could be that
Perfect
quite yet.
example would be Independence Day Resurgence.
Or
There's
like
a couple characters in there I did not believe.
the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Those are another good example of that, where I thought that he was really believable as an ambitious, smart, young business person trying to make his way. He really sold that, where a lot of the times that doesn't work for me ever. So I thought he was believable as like a young, ambitious businessman. So
Yeah, but this is a great mystery, and it's like we were talking about. This movie is well crafted. I'm not quite fully understanding all the complaints with this movie. I think a lot of people talk about the final act or the reveal, which no spoilers here. People were upset about it. I personally thought it was fine. I liked it. I like this whole movie in general. I think it's just really well crafted. The cinematography, the music, the sound design, the performances, everything in this movie is top notch. Really.
I think the big criticism I hear is its length. And I think it is a bit long.
Yeah, it's a complaint.
I think it could have got shaved down and tightened up. I think there was a few scenes, and I'm like, you could probably cut that scene out. A lot of these scenes, though, they're still visually interesting, and I see why he kept it.
Yeah.
And the thing, though, I'll say about its pacing, though long, I think that I like that it's a slow burn, and it really kind of it hangs on to its mystery for a long time.
Yeah.
And I kind of really like that about the movie. At the same time, though, you have to be a little patient with it. And just kind of keep giving it your attention. But I think it does still pay off. I don't think that part of the movie is its strongest suit, though, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. it's definitely, yeah, it kept me guessing up until the end. And you know, people question, you know, how good is the end. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. Oh, you know, overall, I thought that this was a little bit of a surprise. I didn't go in with like really high expectations. I was kind of like, oh, this will probably be a nice head trip of a movie, and I ended up being really pleasantly surprised, I'd say, for A Cure for Wellness.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. It's ambitious and it's original, and you know, there's a lot of people coming out of the woodworks here and saying like you gotta give credit for originality, and this movie is definitely original, even though it kind of looks like Scorsese's Shutter Island.
Yeah.
I can assure you it's not Shutter Island. It doesn't feel like Shutter Island.
Yeah, there's like kind of some
there's similarities, but there's
between
always
that and The Shining. I think that there's like some like some spiritual connection there. But I think overall, though, I think it stands on its own 2 feet. I think that it's really interesting and just kind of Gore Verbinski in general. I think a lot of people know him for the original Pirates trilogy, and then the failures like The Lone Ranger, but then successes like The Ring. And then a movie I really enjoyed was like The Weatherman. I really kind of like that movie. It's a little kind of depressive, bittersweet kind of movie, but I really kind of enjoyed that. And I kind of thought this movie was this kind of weird blend between like The Weatherman and like The Ring. Like it kind of fell somewhere in between there where you could see where Gore Verbinski could pull this off. I have to say, I thought it was really interesting seeing him go for that R rating, seeing him really kind of swing for the fences, and he lets this movie be a bit weird. And I think that in terms of him, I didn't think that this is a kind of movie that he could do, really. You know what I mean? I think when when someone's like, oh, the Pirates guy's doing this, I was like,
yeah.
You know? But I think that this movie really does work, and I think it's an interesting film to have in his filmography, and I hope to see him do something more similar to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of trying to chase that Disney money, that Mickey money, yo.
Yeah, and that's another thing, too. He went with decisions in this film that I can tell it's something he was passionate about making, obviously, and that's why I praise it for its originality. This movie's gonna bomb. It's already bombing. So go out and see it. Like, just give money to original ideas to get more original ideas. Yeah. I think you just really got to praise that originality in this film.
I think that this movie, for a lot of people, I think it's going to be a polarizer. I think it's going to be a wild card. So if you guys are interested in seeing something this coming weekend or while it's in theaters, check it out. It's a risky and original film, and I don't think we get too many of those. So go check this one out and get your guys' own opinion on it. I think it's going to be definitely a polarizer and possibly one that could turn into a cult hit down the road.
I will say, too, if you are a little squeamish, this movie has excellent body horror. Yeah. I was very pleasantly surprised with the graphic nature of some of the scenes in this movie and how grossed out I was during quite a few moments in this movie. So
yeah,
it's definitely a surprise. Don't go in with real high expectations, but this also isn't a bad movie.
I think that this is one you could potentially love this movie and you don't even know it. So I think it's definitely one to maybe roll the dice on. If you're not quite sure, you already saw Lego Batman, you already saw John Wick 2, you want to go to the theater, this is a good one to roll the dice on, and maybe you'll really, really enjoy it. So, John, saying all that now about A Cure for Wellness, what is your final grade for A Cure for Wellness?
I give A Cure for Wellness a B, a straight B. I did have issues with its length. I think it is a little overlong. There are a few things in the plot that's a little convoluted, just a little exposition heavy in certain areas, and there's a few choices that I wasn't quite fond of. But overall, it's a pretty awesome movie.
Yeah, I'm going to give A Cure for Wellness a B-. I really enjoyed myself. I wasn't expecting to like this movie as much as I did. I do think, though, it could be trimmed down and maybe tightened up. I think that Gore Verbinski was kind of going for the slow burn and really wanted the audience to anticipate this movie through the first 2 acts. But maybe he just needs a little bit more practice with it. But I think as far as a first attempt at doing something really different, as far as his filmography goes, I think this movie is a success. I think this movie is definitely one that can be a polarizer among people. So definitely one to roll the dice on and maybe try out, especially if you're into movies like Shutter Island or The Shining, you like horror or maybe just creepy mysteries and thrillers. Alright guys, that's been our spoiler-free review today of A Cure for Wellness. Tell us what you think of A Cure for Wellness if you guys have seen it in the comments. You can find us at BacktoFeature on Twitter. You can follow us on there. And you can also find us on Facebook at /BacktoFeature. I've been your host, Giovanni Carlo.
And I'm John Vandeloo.
And we'll see you guys next time.
There is no cure!
Accept the diagnosis, and you will see. It's wonderful here.